Okay, take three. Candy Comer. We're waiting for her. Candy is Green Green Hill Juice Club on Instagram. She's also another certified advanced regenerative detox specialist, which is just a fancy way to call us, I don't know, natural healers. We teach people how to cleanse their lymphatic systems to get the main energy channel open, because honestly, pain and all these conditions are just it's a problem of elimination. We're not eliminating our waste. And so eventually all of our toxicity builds up in the system and it starts to burn tissues. Cells start to degrade at a pH of 3. And so let's just invite Candy on here. Oh, this is great. So when your cells sit in pH of 3, things start to go wrong. The cell stops to function as it should. And people call that dis-ease. So let's see how I homeschool, and my kids are right behind me homeschooling. So I have 2 dogs. So if it gets a little noisy in here, I'm sorry. This microphone is supposed to reduce all that craziness in the background. I was just saying who you are, what we do, and cleaning out the toxemia that's built up over the years, especially starts in conception. That is the main thing of what we teach people to do, because people might not know what regenerative detoxification is. And so essentially it is cleaning out the terrain of the body, getting those energetic pathways open, which would be blood, lymph, and nerve tissue, the main one being lymphatic system. And what's crazy is that the lymphatic system is the main energy pathway. It's the sewer system of the body. But also what's interesting about the lymphatic system is when in cadavers, so as soon as you die, it's such a viscous material, the lymph, the vessels, that they start to shrink, and it's really hard for people to see them and study them. The studies have to be done on live people or whatever, animals, unfortunately. So what were we going to talk about?
You called it something about energy.
Oh yeah, obstructions to the flow of energy. And I was thinking that's a good topic because I've been getting back into Arnold Ehret's work and how simple he breaks it down. If you think about the human body as an engine with valves and pipes, and the lungs actually being the pump, not the heart, we realize that it's really a matter of getting oxygen to the body and not actually food. Food is not the fuel. Food actually causes the obstructions in the body. And all disease can be linked to energy obstructions. Even, when you hold in bad emotions over time, it'll manifest as some sort of discomfort, disease, whatever you want to call it. So Candy, I know you've been on a solid food vacation. So did you want to talk about that? Because that's removing a huge obstruction, solid foods.
I can. I'm on day 24 of a solid food vacation. Finally, I tried to start one. Other times this apple season, it's not still apple season, but at the beginning of apple season is when I really try to get doing any juicing much or solid food vacations if I'm going to. And what kind of really inspired me to get out to do it is because I saw my eating habits, what they were, I kind of have a thing where sometimes I start eating something and I don't know when to stop. I have a hard time. I make this stuff, I call it granola, but really like Nut Crunch might be a better name for it, or it almost reminds you of a candy bar. It doesn't have oats in it, and I don't put oil in it. I don't put salt in it, but that doesn't mean that it's, and you could even consider it raw. And I do soak the nuts, but it's just nuts are so concentrated, such concentrated proteins, acids. And that's really, every time my body is kind of like throwing signals to me, it's like the common denominator is acids, bad acids,
Yes.
So, but yeah, so I was eating, I was, really just kind of binging on the stuff that I'd made for several days. And then there was some other stuff too. I mean, you got to look at just like any, there was some offensive foods, some like bad processed foods here and there. So what that led to is basically really bloating. Bloating. And which, really, if we wanted to break that down, what is it really? Because I would say that was my natural state. Like I've had bloating more than not had bloating my whole adult life, And wouldn't you say, like, I could say that, yeah, I'm bloated. Well, I know it's got to be something that I'm eating or drinking or doing. Like, if you drink a whole lot of beer or something, you might get bloated. What? I didn't do anything. I didn't go any further with it. I was just like, yeah. But anywho, back to the bloating thing. It's really a dealio. I mean, there's stuff going on there, and it takes a while for it to balance out. And then I didn't really notice it until after I had got into the solid food vacation for a couple of weeks, and I noticed my skin, like mainly the lower leg, and the bottoms of my feet are a very popular place for me. I think it's pretty common. I think it's just how it is. But
Yeah.
for my skin to start showing the acids coming, you know, and it was just like dry, kind of whatever. And then the bottoms of my feet.
What day did that start for you?
Pardon?
What day did that start for you? Did you notice the
I don't remember, but I can tell you this: on day 24, it's like looking a whole lot better. Like my feet, the bottoms of my feet, I would say are probably like 95% better. Like they're almost completely, you know, the heel just has a little bit of dryness left on it, and then the up along the outer edge of your foot on the bottom, that edge, it gets, you know, really dry, like really dry, and the heels of my feet get like really dry, cracked dry, you know.
And it wasn't like that
Really
before.
dry.
This happened on the solid food vacation?
They would get like that if I never did anything to clean out the acids, you know what I'm saying? And they weren't that bad until I like got into the fast and cleansing, and then boom, and then it'll like be like all soft. My lower legs look so much better. They're actually getting like a little natural shine on their own. You know, it's good. And I kind of like to experiment on myself and with the situation. And so I wanted to observe my body handle the bloating on its own without me interfering anyway or trying to help or like, you know, do some lemon juice, distilled water enemas or anything like that. I did do one today. I did an enema earlier, but I didn't want to right off the rip because I really just kind of wanted to watch the bloating, the edema, water. Your body does that to buffer acids, you know, and then just like the air, just to see my body, how it was going to resolve on its own naturally, you know, and I'm still bloated and it's day 24. I mean, I'm really, man, it's like, this is a thing. It is something to talk about. Like, you know, I was thinking about nuts and nuts and seeds. We have to I put those together. They're all concentrated proteins, flax seeds, hemp seeds, chia seeds. But, and it wasn't like we, you know, cut out dead animal tissue because we just didn't want that version of protein. I mean, it was like protein is kind of, you know, that's kind of the thing. Anyway, it's hard on the kidneys, but which, you know, people could do that experiment on their own. Okay, if they're promoting protein, keep a check on your eyes and underneath your eyes. You know, how are they starting to look? Are you going to get some puffiness and bags? I mean, that's going to tell you about your kidneys straight away. So just kind of be really aware of those signals, and then like negotiate your acids throughout the day would be a good place to start. But I don't know, back to the skin thing and the bloating. I wanted to watch it resolve on its own, and it takes a while, and I respect that. I mean, I trust the body so much. My body knows way better. I mean, it, you know, and yeah, I mean, it's definitely a lot better than it was, but it's not like flat abdomen, you know. Used to, I mean, I think that's what a lot of girls, they just really wanted a flat belly. Well, I never did really have a flat belly. You know, I always had a belly. I wouldn't call it a pooch. I don't like that word pooch, but I really didn't have a pooch. I just kind of had a belly, you know, just kind of there. And because the colon, if you think about it, you know, it can hold so much water. And what I was kind of thinking about, I was thinking about myself, and then this is probably the last thing I got to say is, you know, we got to think about how large the small intestine is. So yeah, I can see the effects of the large intestines in the colon primarily. That's what is, you know, that down here in the more pelvis area. But as I continue to let my body find balance on this solid food vacation, you know, I'm like, you remove all the fiber or whatnot. That's another topic we could talk about, fiber. But anyway, you're just really, what helps me is I've removed the calls. I've removed all the calls, right? But anyway,
exactly.
So, but as I'm watching my body handle this, I have to take into account that more acids being released, and that's why I could say, when I say is like binders, and they're so helpful. Even if
how often are you using binders on your fast?
Not often, but I would. I mean, I know this is. I'm not really.
No, you haven't even been doing
the master fast. I did it by the book. I did it. You know what I mean? When I did the master fast, but you know, I mean, I don't really need. I'm okay. I'm okay. If I needed it, I would take it. You know, I can tell you, man, that stuff works. It's like my oldest son. He's 30. He was over here a couple of weeks ago, and he's like, "Oh man, I'm gonna be sick. I just ate that whole bag of gummies." You know, he ate some candy, and I said, "Well, I got something, but you got to drink it." And he's like, "I'll do it," and it doesn't taste bad. It don't taste bad at all. And I keep on hand just those little Welch's 10-ounce grape juices, Concord grape juice, just for this, you know, and just put some in a little pint glass jar, put you a scoop of your GI binder in there and shake it up real good and drink it pretty promptly, you know, so it doesn't kind of turn the thing. But back to the bloating thing, that's why enemas would help too, because you're helping get those acids out, right? You know what I mean? Because otherwise they're just sitting there and here comes more, you know, you're releasing stuff from the small intestines. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
It does. The enemas though, so when I was doing the master fast, you know, you have to do an enema twice a day almost. I was using tap water, but you're using distilled water with
Yeah, and
lemon.
I'll warm it up on the stove just to where it's
Yeah.
body temperature, to where it's nice, you know, not to where it's real cold. It's 29 degrees here in Middle Tennessee today. And, you know, so yeah, and I don't always put lemon in it. And today I did. I put 3 lemons. I measured out exactly 2 quarts. I wanted to know, I was doing an exact 2-quart enema. I just want today. Sometimes I don't. I just dump a whole lot of water in a pot of my distilled water. And sometimes I'll brew Hill tea concentrated and then put that in there and then dilute it. That would be a great thing to do a enema with. I mean, there's a lot to be said about the herbs, those herbs in that particular blend and
black walnut
how it's helped me. Yeah. So that, and then, yeah, you know, the lemon, I wouldn't suggest maybe starting right out with lemons, just with any lemon in there at all. Just start out with some distilled water. Yeah, not warm. And if you don't have distilled water, I used to use tap water, but so what I would do though is I would boil it. I would get it to a boiling and then I would let it cool back down, which takes a while. You know, you kind of have to plan ahead, but yeah, let it cool back down.
Yeah. I was just using tap water because I did distilled water for the first few times. And then, you know, you're doing it so often, I just got so tired of it. And I was like, you know what? I don't care. I'm cleaning out anyways. I'm just going to use tap water, but it didn't feel good. But I guess master bath is different because you're still, you know, the grape juice with the lemon is still acting like a cleanser in itself. So,
and the binder, because you're drinking the binder just about every day, you know?
Yeah.
It's a thing. It's a thing to take on the master bath. I mean, it's great. I was going to say something about something. Oh, you know, it's wild. Like when I first started this solid food vacation, I drank quite a bit of tea, herbal tea, like for several days, many days. Now I'm not as into it, but now that it's turned cold again, like it's 35 now, it's 35 now, which is, you know, that's cool. But yeah, the Hill tea is nice, or I'll mix it with some 3-lung tea, which is just pleurisy root, mullein leaf, and fenugreek seed. Mix equal parts of those. You got you a good lung tea. But yeah, and I like it or whatever, and then just the juices. And I made veggie broth one time. I've never done that either on any of all the other solid food vacations.
Yeah.
Never done that. And I got that out of my system. I kind of wanted to mess around with it. You know, they say like on the mucosal healing system, they allow that. Yeah, I just boiled some carrot and celery and onion and then strain it, and there you go.
Well, I never done that, but that is interesting because I mean sometimes you do crave the savory stuff, and so
yeah.
You made a juice with tomatoes, and that sounded like
tomato juice one day, celery, and maybe what else did I put in there?
Jalapeno, something hot.
Definitely a little hot pepper. Yeah. I've been getting these red Fresno peppers because the jalapenos in the store are green, and I just can't bring myself to buy one of those. I let them ripen on the vine, and their jalapeno ought to be red. So I get these red Fresno peppers, and they're hot. I cut me a little piece off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the bloating we can say is an obstruction for sure, and
I wouldn't call it an obstruction. I wouldn't call it necessarily an obstruction. Mm-mm.
Well, I mean, when
I think of an
clogging something up, you know.
No, I mean things move slowly for sure. You're not having very much peristalsis, which is, and the movement of through there, but I wouldn't call it an obstruction. But you got to think, you know, I'm coming from that like diagnostic medical imaging background, ultrasound background, and when we look at these arteries,
anything that flows down the system though is an obstruction to the flow of energy, because otherwise there would be cleanliness and an exchange of oxygen in the body. There would be circulation, not just of the blood, but the nerve and the lymph also. So any type of bloating, I know it might be a stretch to call it an obstruction, but there is stuff that shouldn't be there that's causing the bloating. But I was just saying that so we can move on to like other systems, such as obstructions to the flow of nerve energy, which would cause a lot of the issues that people are seeing as far as neurological stuff going on, autism, Parkinson's, MS. And those could originate from the degradation of the myelin sheaths, which are the membrane of the nerves. Calcium is a major buffer system of the body, but it also helps to, what's that word? Conduct electricity in the nerves. So when the calcium chains are broken, because the body needs to use them and pull them to cool itself down from all the acids, we get some breaks in the nerve receptions. I don't know how to word things properly.
That's so textbook complicated, repeating. To me, what sounds more. So here's what makes sense to me.
I think it makes sense.
All of these signals that a lot of these people are having, some of this, maybe they shake on the floor, whatever it is, they're slurred speech, they're weak on one side, name it. It's all neurological. It's all a neurological issue. It is all a signal. It's a neurological event. Sometimes it's a little better, sometimes it's a little worse. But there's the calls, once they remove the calls, boom, they're starting to be immediately they will see improvement. So all those things are really just signals. I mean, it's like a progressive accumulation of acids, you know. And you know, my thing too, I just want to say
That's what the acids do, is they cause the body to push calcium, and calcium is responsible for nerve transmission. And so when that goes, there's going to be, like you said, nerve disruption or whatever, disconnectivity.
Yeah.
Yeah, the cause, what is the cause? The cause is,
preservatives, refined oil, and salt are your top
like you
three,
mentioned,
right?
the common denominator in all of this is acids. And what causes acids in the body is all the stuff that we are considering food, anything in a package, any animal products, grains, unfortunately, because people love grains, nuts, like you mentioned, you make a
Beans,
nut
coffee.
free. Yeah, I know, basically
Soda.
everything except for herbs, vegetables, and fruit. And so when you're cleaning the body, you need to start realizing that you need to balance the body with the opposite chemistry, which is only going to be those three that we mentioned. And I would say a minimum of 6 months to really hit it, and do it in spurts. Like, honestly, just go all in, transition yourself and go all in. 100% fruits, do the herbs. Candy's been playing around with the mucusless diet. We were talking about that, and we both think that that is a good way for people to actually be successful if they are battling a chronic condition or pain. It's a good way to be successful in this, because sometimes all fruit is very hard. If you're trying to regenerate anything that's been surgically removed, or any cancer, you're trying to regenerate tissue, you're going to need the highest electromagnetic foods, which is going to be your fruits for sure. It's loaded with vitamins and minerals that your body can utilize, and it's got the living water, structured by nature, anti-gravitational water. You're going to need that. But if you're just looking to reverse acne, which we wanted to touch on that, MS, Alzheimer's, stuff that, and I guess you'd want to regenerate nerves with those conditions, but
it's
anyway.
really that, and that sounds, you know, like a chore. It's not that. It's remove the cause, and then all of they think they got it so bad with that diagnosis of that M and that S, the M or the whatever. And yes. I don't even want us to repeat the words. Say the symptoms.
I know.
The symptoms. We don't even if you're having any shakes or unsteadiness, if you're having spotted vision, if you're having if you've went and you've had an MR scan and they see lesions on your brain, that way we can talk. But I mean, saying any of their words, no, going to get flagged, and then we're wasting our time.
I know, I forget. Okay, so let's see.
Forget
hardening of the arteries, forgetfulness.
And you know, hardening of the arteries is like, I did ultrasounds for 24 years. Let me tell you something. They're not hard. They're already hard. The walls are already hard. They're stiff. They don't give. Veins do. You can compress them so easy. When you're going down through there to rule out if there's a clot in that vein, that's part of the protocol. That's part of how you do it. You are pressing it to make sure there's a clot in there. It's the most ridiculous thing, but you can tell right away. Oh no, there's a clot in there. Totally different systems. The arterial system versus the venous system, totally different. Arteries don't give a rat's ass about your respiration. You can be panting like a lizard, and you might raise your pulse up a little bit, but your volume of flow is not going to change. Your lumen of the artery is always full. The flow pulses through there with your heartbeat. Veins, completely dependent on your respiration. You could go for a long time and not fill up the veins in the bottom of the legs. And there's tricks that we learn in the ultrasound world to get those to light up for you, so you can get a picture that there's flow that there's venous flow at the ankle. And, it's all about taking a big, deep breath and holding it. And then how you check the valves is bearing that. Take a big, deep breath, hold it. Yeah. Now bear down. Don't let your air out. Bear down. You're testing the valve right then. And then breathe. And then you're seeing if there's any, they call it, it don't even matter. But anyway, you're watching the flow and da-da-da-da-da. But it's really wild to think. And then because there's another trick too. Like, let's say you're down near the ankle and you come up the leg some closer to the knee, but kind of close to the calf, because the leg's kind of frogged out like that. Yeah. You press down. You press, hold it, and then let up, and boom, those veins will light up. So, but otherwise, they're just, are you breathing deep, taking big, deep breaths? That's important, And I wouldn't say at all for somebody to just go all in. My body was full blown chronic systemic acid.
Oh no, I said transition, not go all in. Transition. You need to transition.
Yeah, dedicate yourself to being the best version of yourself and seeing, get curious, man. Like curiosity's lovely. I love it. And there's definitely not going to run into any train wrecks doing this and messing yourself up. But the only thing is, I'll say this, if you want to hear this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was 46 when I walked up to the group, my first International School of Detoxification conference. And I looked around, and I was like, whoa, I'm one of the oldest people here. But I didn't think, oh, I'm old. I thought, wow, these people are young and they were suffering and they wanted answers and they were trying everything. And they all knew. I got to talking to them and they all knew about and had read the book and practiced it, the Mucus Healing System, the Professor Arnold L. Ehret book, and they had all heard about Hippocrates. I can't tell you how many would say that they tried Hippocrates, it did not work for them, so they came to, okay, and then someone heard about the Gerson therapy and how it didn't work. So all I want to say is, I mean, and this, no, you know, whatever, no offense. I mean, and I haven't been perfect by no means. And it's not even about, you know, being all plant-based and not eating animals for me. I don't come from that. I like to teach more about alchemy and how to help you, like tools you can do to help the body find balance. And then a little tinkering and negotiating with your bad acids a little bit to where it's doable and sustainable, really. Cause you know, I've worked with enough people to see that. I mean, you got to kind of meet them where they are. Anyway, that why then, when if you were started to eat there, let's say you started to eat there on a regular basis at Hippocrates, you know, they have a huge spread. I've heard, never eaten there. I have a dear friend that worked there for a number of years, and
she's trained and certified there.
Yeah, well, you know what they will tell you is, like, some people who come through there, I'm not going to drop any names really, but they won't eat the salad dressings. They make their own in their room and they bring it with them. And some really like won't touch like the nut patés and the all the, what do they call the nut pate and the nut loaves, okay? And, or maybe they'll eat it once, but they won't eat it the whole week when they're there. But if I feel like if we're doing that, eating that really highly concentrated, either or, the dressing with the oil in it or the nuts and the seeds, and then if you combine that, if you like, and they are, then you've got a fat and a protein mixed together. That's not going to go well. So you see how like there could be some bloating, but you continue to do it. And if you did it once a week, every week, because it's close, I'm just going to go there and I'll just do it. If you continue to do that, and I'm telling you, like, you know, it takes a while for all that to balance out, and you're never getting on top of it. You're never getting on top of it. Never getting on top of it. And
plus, at Hippocrates, they don't do fruit. Fruit is too much sugar, so they're very there's not a lot of energy there and not a lot of hydration to really move any acids out of the body. So it's a very that's why there's no regeneration.
I'm going to say this though, and tell me if you think this would help you, because I think this, I don't know if you've done this, but I can look back. I look at how I do, and I don't always do this. And this is a mucus healing system technique approach. Okay, right? A principle. Let's say you're eating those things, the nut, you know, like you're going to have something that heavy, concentrated, more dense. Mm-hmm. There's a broom to go with it, a salad, a large salad, like even like shredded cabbage or something, and you make it the day before, you squeeze lemon juice all over it. That's a mucus healing system, like that kind of salad, or just any kind of lettuce and tomato and cucumber and that kind of thing, and it acts as a broom. And you can mix some also like some steamed vegetables with it, or steamed squash or something like that, or zucchini, you know, and that kind of thing, and have a combo salad with that. But what I tend to do is I make a meal out of the nut crunch, you know, and I'm just eating it, and that's habits, right? And that's, I don't want to use the word discipline either, because I don't know what discipline is, but it's habits, and it's like having some control and some awareness to be like, okay, now what am I doing here? All right, why don't I take this little bit? If I really want it, you know, take it and do that. But I am looking very forward to, there are some sauces that I want to try. I've been watching some mucusless videos, recipe videos that they shared on the Professor Spira's YouTube channel. You know, and some fat-free dressings, or like even a marinade, but, you know, just take a little orange juice and lemon juice and dates, and if you want it Asian-y and smoky, like that kind of thing, put some prunes in it, and dates are your sweetness, and then a couple prunes, get clean ones, no sulfites, that kind of thing. And put that in there and blend that up. I don't think I left out any ingredients. Some smoked paprika if you wanted to too, but that's one. You can leave out the prunes if you want to, and do orange juice and maple syrup and lemon juice and a pinch of cayenne or no cayenne. There's a lot of ways to go at it.
They don't use avocados, right?
Right. And I 100% agree with that. I mean, whatever, to each their own, but I can tell you, I mean, and, you know, maybe it doesn't affect some people, but you know, what level are you? Where are you? And I'm going to say, like, it being 56 and not even starting any of this until I was 46.
I get it. Yeah.
I can tell you,
I have
some sensitivity to it one day, you know, or not sensitivity to it, but you may get to see where, oh, maybe it doesn't eliminate all that.
It has to do with your, sticky food. The buildup of toxicity in your body will definitely manifest what foods are good and bad, because you'll have reactions. I know that I've had a couple clients in the past who have tried avocados, just avocados, and they've had symptoms come back, which is really interesting.
Yeah. So 100% no for me. I don't even think about them. I don't look at them. I don't buy them. I don't have no.
I love them, but just knowing that, I've definitely stayed away from them.
Yeah.
I do hemp seeds though, and I know like that's something I have to get rid of, just because I mean, they're seeds, so a lot of amino acids in there.
Do we want to talk on acne, or do we want to save that for another video? I've got to bounce.
I know, we'll save it for another video.
Yeah. So I think this was good.
So I don't want to make this too long. Yeah.
Because the main thing I think we both could agree on is you're going to see energy improve once you start removing the reasons why you don't have energy, the reasons what's taking your energy.
Yeah.
More things are taking our energy. It's more about removing the things that are taking our energy than putting in things that are going to give us energy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And that's why I love, everyone should read The Mucus Diet by Arnold Ehret. It makes a lot of sense. He talks about the human body as an engine where the lungs are actually the pump. Most people think that the heart is the pump. However, the lungs are, when you increase your activity, it's your breathing that controls everything. So if you're constantly eating foods, especially foods that are heavy or whatever, they just create more obstructions. Sorry, if you can hear my dogs, but create more obstructions to the energy flows. So yes, remove the cause and you remove the obstructions, clear up everything. And that's why fasting is really God's way of healing. You're letting your body just do it, and you're literally taking everything away. Juice fasting is recommended for most people. I wouldn't do water fasting, definitely not dry fasting. And you'll notice, in a couple days, your energy, it's very up and down, but different days you'll notice how great you feel. Other days you'll be dumping toxins. So yeah, we'll just be talking more about all this stuff to get the word out, because as much as me and you are in this world and like we hear about this all the time, I talk to new people and they have no idea how offensive the foods they're eating are every day. They have no idea why their psoriasis is so bad and getting worse. And it's really sad. It's really sad to see so many people suffering when the answers are so simple and right there. So let's plan to talk about acne. I know you mentioned teenagers and that stuff, and that's an easy fix, acne, all skin conditions.
Yeah, I wish I'd have known how easy it was when I was a teenager. I went to 4 different dermatologists just for acne.
Did you? Wow. That's
yeah,
crazy.
I name them: Hamilton, Buchanan, McDaniels, and then the last one for acne was Elson. And then he's the one who prescribed Accutane. I took not just 1 round, 1.5 rounds. I absolutely do not recommend that stuff. I mean, it's been said by biochemists that that's very similar to what they treat people with the C word, and that anybody who's ever taken it ought to be awarded $1 million right off the rip. Nosebleeds, I had those definitely when I was taking it, and then affected my night vision. I'd say my night vision is probably a little better now, but I typically, anyway, yeah, not necessary. I mean, like, why? And I didn't even realize this when I was taking it, but there's definitely depression linked to that stuff, suicidal thoughts. And, I had to go in. I was such a bimbo. I had to go in every month, I think. I don't know how often, and have my lab drawn so they could check my LFTs, which stands for liver function, being your liver stuff, right? Anyway, and all I had to do is tinker with my what I was putting in, for sure. Anyway,
probably messes up your parathyroid too. You're having all those symptoms, depression.
I mean, think about it. Like, I mean, how could it not suppress every gland? How could it not? If it's suppressing your lymphatic system that drastically, hella suppressing. I mean, it's like majorly suppressed. It looked like it just started doing like this at the top of my head and went down. Whoop. Yeah, I mean, talk about don't have a bump. Yeah, but I mean, all I would have to do is tinker with my.
I wonder how many people are actually on that prescription. How many people don't know that you change your diet, you clean up your skin?
A lot. Even one of my son's friends the other day, I was mentioning their bodies talking to them, but oh yeah, I'm thinking about taking that, and I'm like, oh no, God, don't. Man.
How old are they?
We need some healthy men. Don't jack up your.
Well, I have 2 teenagers, 16 and 14, and their skin is perfect, like baby skin, and they don't appreciate it because they don't understand how many teenagers struggle with acne and eczema and all these skin conditions. So yeah, I guess we'll get more into that next time. I want to find out the statistics of Accutane and how many people are actually on it, because that's crazy. But yeah, I had a client with psoriasis, and man, it cleared up so fast. He just changed the diet and it cleared up so fast. I remember him, I think it was like 2 weeks, and the knees and his legs cleared up. And I was like, wow, that's pretty good. But it also shows you the amount of toxicity in him. Like, if someone cleans up that fast, everyone has different genetic constitution and all that stuff, but everyone's different. You have to respect that. It's not going to be fast for everybody, but yeah.
Definitely acidic on the inside before we start seeing the skin, before, we start seeing the acids come out the skin. Yeah.
True that. Well, I have another Zoom thing in 10 minutes, so I got to get prepared for that, unfortunately.
Okay.
It's not a fun call.
Well,
but I'll talk to you, Candy, later, and then I guess we'll do this again and talk about other stuff that's important.
Yes, we will.
Okay.
Okay.
Love you. Talk to you soon.
See ya.
All right. Bye.
Cheers.